Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another video. This is for our Stamp Around UK video hub. All the links to everyone's videos for this month will be in the description. Please do check that out. You might need to press more to see that list, but please do take the time to have a look at what everyone has created today. And we are all using up our scraps, so this is a great project because I bet you've got loads of scraps kicking around your craft room, so there'll be lots of ideas on how you can use them up. So this is the sample card today, using the retiring in colours. So come May time, when the new catalogue comes out, these colours will have retired. So just as a recap, we've got Petunia Pop, Summer Splash, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock and Pretty Inner Pink. Okay, and then we've got the matching flat pearls on there as well. So if you want those colours, inks, reinkers, cardstock, the lot basically, you need to get hold of those. Okay, so we've used those colours to create these 5 coloured bands. The sentiment and the die, actually, we're going to use Paradise Garden, this lovely You Are Appreciated, which coordinates with this little die here, okay, which is there. Okay, you could alternatively use like one of these little banners from Stylish Shapes, okay, or maybe this one, maybe resize things a little bit. If you've got the triple banner punch, maybe use that instead. So there's loads of options, or just cut strips, right, just to make it easier. But I quite like this shape of this die, so I'm going to use that, okay, to cut my little bits and pieces. And the background there is just the largest square from the Stylish Shapes. Okay, so again, you could skip that, leave it, maybe bring in the perennial postage or something to mix this up a little bit, but we're just going with a nice basic square today. And like I say, these are the retiring in colours, but I'm going to use Brights this to create with you today. But the world's your oyster in terms of the colours, right? We've got 50 odd colours in the Stampin' Up family. Hang on, that might be more than that actually. Hang on, no, 10, yeah, 4 families plus the 10 in colours, 50 colours to choose from to create something similar. Okay, so scraps then. I keep all my little offcuts in these little photo boxes. This is the 6x4. So I've got them all. Let me just grab another one just so that you can see. I've got mine on my shelf, so I can just quickly grab which colour family I want. Okay, so I keep them in colour families, labelled up, and anything that's remotely going to be used gets shoved in this box. And you know, we can punch out of it, die cut out of it, and that kind of thing. So anything that is remotely usable goes into one of these boxes. So what I've already done is fished out some bits and pieces. Okay, and I thought we'd go with the rainbow because it's easy, right? And you don't have to overthink what order things need to go in. I've already cut Coastal Cabana and Melon Mambo though, because I really love those colours. I'd really like to use them, but just wondering whether to substitute. This will be Poppy Parade, Daft Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Granny Apple Green, Azure Afternoon. And I've already cut one in white for the sentiment, so we'll just leave that to one side. So you can see how much I've been using these. And you know, I'm gonna tear that off, and I'm gonna keep that little bit because, you know, little teeny tiny embellishments, or even just cut that off, make it into a little banner. There's all sorts, right? I'm just terrible. My lovely friend used to tease me about keeping all these little teeny tiny bits of paper. And this is where the white bit came from, this bit that so I shared this card a couple of weeks ago probably, and I had this little space here, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll do, I'll die cut out of that bit. Okay, so what we need to do is die cut some more. Okay, so I would use my Little Boss, but my Little Boss plates have broken and I haven't replaced them yet. So my Bigger Boss is off to the side here, so you're gonna have to sort of bear with, but I'm just gonna make sure that the die covers the cardstock and pop that onto the plate, and going in on the wonk. So if I just show you my plate, I put it in that way. So you don't want to put it in sort of side on, because it's like a speed bump on your plate, which isn't great. And if you do that way, you're going to have to roll it through all the way there, but if you put it in that way, you only have to roll it in that far and back again. Time saving trick. So there's red, Poppy Parade. Let's do this Daft Delight. And with your cutting plates as well, you know, use different parts of it. So I'm just using the top part and the bottom part, and then you know, keep flipping it around and using different portions of it. You can see how well this has been used. You can't hardly see through it anymore. Okay, that's the top plate, and I will keep using this and using this and using this. It still works just fine. So so that's going back in the scrap, that's going in the recycling. And if you do that, you will get lots of life out of your cutting plates. And I those of you who watch me on a regular basis know I love die cutting. There's not many cards I do without any die cutting on. I think it's fascinating. This so it's brilliant. And then we'll get this one off. So on this bit, I'm cutting away the sort of torn end, and then I've got that good bit that I can save. That's Granny Apple. And last but not least, this is Your Afternoon. So I was obviously making something peculiar with this. I don't know how I've ended up with a triangle, but if I cut away that, I've still got quite a nice piece to there we go. Right, so that was probably a bit dull and everything, but we now have lots of pieces of cardstock that we can create with. Okay, so let's just grab my Memento ink and this stamp, and we'll get that inked up, because while we're debating what order everything needs to go in, this can be drying. That looks straight enough. Normally I would stamp and then die cut, but I just wanted to save a bit of time, so I've got that out of the way. So that's, oh, just pop that there then. So that's ready and drying, and it isn't particularly straight, but never mind. So we are going to use, this is a basic white, thick basic white, half a sheet scrawled in half to create the base, and this is the White Willow. So I'm using the White Willow, and it's a lighter weight, it doesn't add bulk to your cards for like die cutting and things like that, but I like the more durable cardstock cave battle, yeah, in for card bases and things. Okay, so we could go really trad and just do these ones, but I do quite like the idea of subbing the red for the pink, just to sort of mix that up a little bit. That looks nice. Okay, and I do really like Coastal Cabana as well, so I'm like, do I switch the Granny Apple? Yeah, let's do it. Granny Apple is a bit of a Marmite colour for people, but then I'm not a fan of orange either, so that's still there, but there you go. Okay, the point is you can make this whatever you like, okay? And we're going to step it all up with some dimensionals, because again, it's not an inky card without a dimensional or two on there. We need baby dimensionals as well. Where's my baby dimensionals? Oh my goodness. Oh, thought I was prepared, guys. Oh, okay, found some. Right, baby dimensionals. I think these might have come out of the kit actually. So we're going to put one at each end of these. If you've got like you know, the edges here, again, scraps. So if you've got those little scrap edges knocking about, you could use those. There we go, so those are all ready. I'm going to take all the backings off. You know what order we're going to put them in. Whoops. And I can't believe it's April, guys. Quarter of the way through the year. Gosh. Right, so positioning tip then. I'm going to pop on my one that's going to go that way. Could put some glue on if you're concerned about getting them not straight enough or whatever, but it's handmade, right? And we're going to put the other end on. That one probably looks a bit wonky, but I'm not going to worry about it. You could deliberately do the wonky up and down a little bit. Then I'm going to put the one in the middle, which is roughly there. And by doing this, you don't sort of run out of room by misjudging your placement. You could end up too far this way or not having enough room for everything, and then you can just eyeball the gap then and just slot that in. Okay, now if they are a bit wibbly wobbly, you've probably got a bit of wriggle room to sort of compensate a little bit. Okay, that'll do. That looks reasonably even to me. Okay, now we need to get that onto our card. So because we've got a lot of texture on there, I'm just going to use some multi-purpose for that. Oh, I'm going to need that again, so. And then we can pop that on. So obviously it's going this way rather than that way, because the sentiment's going to go across, right? And again, you've got your wriggle room with your wet glue. Let's just pop that in place. That all looks really wonky, but I don't mind. Let's just call it a design feature. And then I'm going to pop glue across the back of this, and that can just sit flat across those. And you could do it central or up, down, whichever. Okay, so I'm going sort of about 2/3 of the way up or 1/3 of the way down, whichever way you want to look at it. There we go. So obviously that'll take a minute. And on this one, I used the coordinating flat pearls. They come in 3 sizes, and I decided to do them this way. Just thought it looked cute. And just use those because we're going to run out of them. But these are the iridescent foil gems. There are 2 sizes of these. So in a similar vein, I'm going to pop a small one. Could have done them. Oh. I'm all for using things up today. This is what this is about, though. This this sort of theme, if you like, using up stuff. It's knocking about. So you could go real crazy and add some at the top as well. So they sort of look like rivets. Oh, it looks like one of those xylophones. You know, when you were, well, at least when I was a kid, they had these rainbow sort of xylophone thingies. It sort of looks like the rivets on there, doesn't it? So you could put a row up there. I think I might just go with this sort of double up kind of look that I went for. Oops. Let's make sure it doesn't stick to my fingers. So, you know, you can, and again, you know, the pearls would look good because it's on white cardstock, so you'd bring out that white. There's the antique pearls you could use, those come in a couple of sizes. So yeah, you choose, or just plain old rhinestones, because then they go with everything, right? If in doubt, basic rhinestones do the job. Right, we'll leave it there, but like I say, you could put some at the top, or do what you want to on that. But that is essentially it, guys. Something very, very simple, which you can quickly pull together in whatever colour combination you want, and to use up all those little itty bits that you've been saving in these boxes. Okay, and this is a sort of thing that, you know, if you have a punch in particular, you can sit there in front of the telly and just punch out all your little bits and then whack out a few different ones. Okay, so that's my idea for using up some scraps. What are we doing next time? Tone on tone. I like tone on tone. So there we go. Don't forget to check the description to see everybody else's make. Hop through, like, subscribe, leave some comments, hype it, whatever you want to do, just to get everyone's content out there. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again at the next one. Bye bye.